In this video, I am going to show you how you can print this type of amazing patterns using C. So without wasting time, let's start with the intro. So guys, let's start with a very basic pattern, which is pattern number one. You can see here, like in this pattern, we have 5 rows. You can see here, I mention it with the arrows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it depends on your pattern. You can take for 5 rows, 6 rows. It depends on you. And we not have any spaces here. Just notice this. We not have any spaces, but in our pattern number three, we have some spaces here. So how we can achieve this? We can achieve this by using two for loops. One for loop is for printing this row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Like this for jumping to one row to another row. The one for loop is. And the second for loop will be for printing this star. Okay. So let me show you in the program so you will understand more properly. See here, like we're using here is two for loop, and the one for loop is our rows, and one for loop is for our stars. So see here, we start one for loop with I equals to 1, and we comparing it with number 5 because we have 5 rows. It depends on you. You can take any number here according to your pattern, and then we increment I by 1. And in another for loop, we have j with started 1, and we are comparing j with I, which is here 1, and we are increment j by 1. And then we print start. So you can see this for loop is for printing stars, and this for loop is printing the line, or you can say jumping from one line to another line. So let me explain the process how it is working. And see, I is 1 and I is less than equals to 5. So the condition is true. So this for loop will be executed. And in this for loop, you can see j is 1, and here j is less than equals to I, and I is 1. So this condition is also true. So this statement will be executed. And in this statement, we are printing star. And then it will increment j by 1, and it will check again. Now j is 2 and I is 1. You can see this condition will be false. So out we are going to out of this loop and printing backslash n. And after printing backslash n, we achieve this, and now it will go back and we will increase I by 1, and again it will compare this and see here I is 2. Still it is less than 5. So the condition is true, and we jump to this for loop. And in this for loop, you can see j is 1 and j is less than equals to I, which is true because I is 2 and j is 1. Now this printf statement will be executed, and then after executing this, j will be incremented by 1. And now j is 2 and I is also 2. So this condition again it is true. So again it will print star. After printing star, it will increment j by 1, and now j is 3 and I is still 2. So this condition will be false. So now printf backslash and this statement will be execute, and now we achieve this, and we will jump to this row, and I will be increment by 1, and now I will be 3. So it will compare this with 5, and then so on. Just I mentioned for row 1, row 2, it will be looping again and again and printing stuff for us. So let me show you in the program how we can do this. So guys, here I open my VS Code and I created one file with pattern1.cname. And before guys starting program, I recommend you to do one thing. Go to your extension section and search for run, and you will see this extension. I guess recommend you to download this extension because after downloading this extension, you will get this run button over here. And by pressing it, you can run your C program very easily by just clicking on it. And you don't need to write anything in your console. So it will very helpful for you. So let's start guys. First, I will include the header file. Let me include hashtag include studio.h and then int main. We want two for loops. So for that, I define I and j here, I and j. And now I'm going to use one for loop for the rows. And we start I with 1 and I is less than equals to 5 and then I plus plus. And now I'm going to use second for loop for our stars. With j is equals to, sorry, j is equals to 1, j is less than equals to I, and we increment j by 1 every time. And here I am printing star, printf star. After this, we want to jump from one line to another line. For that, we will use printf backslash n, and at the end return 0. Let me save it and let's run this code. And you can see guys, we achieve this pattern very easily. Let's move to the next pattern. In this pattern, we have 5 stars in row 1, and in second row we have 4 star. So you can see guys, the star is decreasing by 1 and 1 and 1. So this is very similar to our previous program in which we printing a star by increasing order by 1 and 1 and 1. So guys, I recommend you to just try this pattern by yourself, and after trying, come back and see video further. And let me give you one hint. The only change for this program is the condition over here. Only this conditions will be changed and rest of the program will be same as it is. So just try and come back. So see, we have spaces 0, we have 5 rows, and see the program. And I mentioned that only this part is changed here. Why we change this? Because in first row we want 5 star. So start J with 5 and compare J with I, and then we decrement J by 1. So it is very similar to our previous program. You can just see this and you will understand how it work. And I'm not going to explain you guys again the process because it is very similar to previous one. And see here, j is 5 and j is greater than I, which is true because when the loop is run first time, I is 1. So the this statement will execute and 1 star will be print, and after it will decrement j by 1 and j will be 4, and again this condition is true, then it will print star, and Again, it will decrement until and unless this condition will be false. Okay guys, without wasting time, let me show you this program in VS Code, and I hope you already done this. Okay guys, in VS Code, I already created a file with .c extension, and now because this pattern is very similar to pattern 1, so I'm just going to copy this pattern 1 and paste it over here. I am not typing it again because the program is very similar and I don't want to waste your time here because if I am typing again, it will take more time and video will become longer. So j is 5 and we compare j with I and the changes is j is greater than equals to I and we decrement j by 1. So let's run this program. First save it. After saving, let's run it. You can see the output. We got what we want. In the first row, we have 5 star. In second row, we have 4 star. In third row, we have 3, 2, and 1. So from this, we completed our second program. So let's move to our third program. In this program, we have spaces at the start. So let me show you this pattern in boxes form. So you can see here more clearly in the first row we have 4 spaces, in second row we have 3 spaces, in third row we have 2 spaces, and we have 5 numbers of rows. From this we can make a formula for spaces. So the formula is space equals to 5 minus number of row. So let's check this formula for row 1. 5 minus number of row 1 because we are checking for row 1 is equals to 4. And you can see here we have 4 spaces. Let's check this for second row. 5 minus 2 is equals to 3. And we have 3 spaces. For third row, 5 minus 3 is equals to 2. And we have 2 spaces here. Now we have formula for spaces. And now we will apply this formula in program. So for this pattern, we need 3 for loop. One for loop is for rows and second for loop is for printing these spaces and the third for loop is for printing star. Now let me explain you the program. Here I is start with 1 and we comparing it with I is less than equals to 5, which is true. So this for loop will execute. So j equals to 1 and j is less than equals to 5 minus I. You can see here we are implementing our space formula over here. For the first row I is 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. J is less than equals to 4, it is true. So it will print one space for us. And now it will increase j by 1 and now j is 2. And again this condition is true. So it will again print one space for us. Again it will increment j by 1 and now j is 3, but still the condition is true. It will print one more space for us. And again it will increment j by 1 and again j is 4. It is true. So it will print one space for us. Now j will be incremented by 1 and now j is 5. And now this condition is false. So we exit this loop and we enter to this loop. and this for loop is printing star. So we started k with 1 and k is less than equals to I and I is 1. So this condition is true. So it will print 1 star for us. And now it will increment k by 1. And now k is 2 and I is 1. So this condition is false. So we exit this for loop and now we print this statement printf backslash n. So we jump from first row to second row and this for loop will run again and again. So now let me show you this program in VS Code. So guys, in VS Code, I already create a file for pattern 3. So let's start the programming. Here I'm defining I, j and k because we want 3 for loop. I already explained you the program, so I am trying to do it more quickly. Let's save it and run the program. From this, we completed our pattern number 3. Okay guys, let's move to our last pattern. So this pattern is very similar to our first pattern. The only difference is here we want to print numbers. So guys, whenever you see the pattern which contain numbers, you have only two options. Either you can print I or J. For this pattern, we can't print I because if we print I, in first row I is 1, but in second row I will update it to 2 and we will print 2, 2 here, but we want 1 and 2. So guys, the last option is we can print J. See guys, if we print J, J is 1. In second row, J again will become 1 and after updating it will become 2. In third row, it will again become 1. So we can print J here. So let's see the program. See here, the only difference is we are printing J here. So guys, without wasting time, let me show you this program also in VS Code. So guys, in VS Code, I already created a file for pattern number 4. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste the pattern 1 code here because it is similar to pattern number 1. And I'm going to change this printf statement with percentage of d, comma, j. Let's save and run this program. From this, we completed our pattern number 4. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me in comment section. I will see you in the next video.